Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. This is a quick finance update with Ed Diaz of Kuno Advisors. This started out as a kind of like an October update, but it actually turned into kind of in a way, a tutorial session. In this segment, we go over current rates, where the rates are right now, but also what the proper questions to ask are, because it's not always about rate. Okay, so view the video. Ed Diaz will be going over that. We then move into how do you vet a lender? Like you got all these lenders out there, and like how do you know who you should be working with? We go over a bit about that as well. Then we move on to the refi situation. There's conflicting information right now about what's going on with refis in the market, and Ed clears a lot of that up. So look out for that. We then move into given the current lending environment and what's all the craziness that's going on in finance, we have some words as for how to best work with a lender during this time. And last but not least, we'll leave off with some parting words, which I think I will probably end up making kind of like a custom as we go on. So anyway, it's a short, quick, exciting episode. I think you'll be getting a lot out of it if you're looking to borrow money for a home or to get your cash out of your house. Okay, we'll be doing this once a month, so I'll be seeing you again next month. All right, guys, here we go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's October 21st, Wednesday. I'm here with the incomparable Ed Diaz, finance extraordinaire. And this is going to be our regular update. And the way that we're going to break it down is we're going to have the first part, just kind of regular, updates of the interest rates, things that's going on in the market. And then we'll move into kind of things to look out for right now, right? Okay, so Ed, take it away. What's going on with the lending market?
Yeah, thanks for the intro. Man, so much has changed. I mean, first off, look, rates are starting to trend up. We're seeing more of that. As you guys all know, look, I mean, there's nothing to complain about because keep in mind that these are artificially low rates. What do I mean when I say that? That means that the Fed jumped in right after COVID and they started buying billions of dollars more of bonds, which is what determines rates on 30-year fixed mortgages. And they just artificially lowered them. Why? Well, to prevent us from slipping into a depression. And so we're seeing rates that are incredible, still in the twos and the high twos. They were kind of like in the mid twos at one point. You can still get those rates, but you have to now pay points or pay a fee to the markets to get those rates. But the rates in the twos were free at one point, but so they are trending up. But again, it depends on the day. So please remember, what's important is not asking your lender what is your rate, because there's no singularity. On any given day, you have between 10 to 26 different interest rate options. So make sure that you ask your lender, what is their interest rate lock strategy? What's their strategy to lock in your rate when the time is right? When's the time right? When you get your offer accepted, when you're purchasing a property. Obviously, when you're refinancing, it's now, right?
Great. That's a great point to bring up, Ed, because a lot of times, from people, people looking to buy a home, the first thing they ask me is, what do rates look like right now? And, often that's why I say, hey, you know what, you really got to talk to a lender, talk to Ed, because they can actually help you ask the right questions. And the right
That's
question
correct.
here is, what is the rate? What is your rate lock strategy? Not what the rate is, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's really important because that is also going to let you know a couple of things. One, does that loan officer even know what you're talking about? Do they have the technical prowess to be able to even do that? Because that requires watching technical charts. It also requires being involved in the markets. I have my securities license background. I was a licensed financial advisor, so I have that background. So I want to be more proactive. And the second piece is it really does show if that person's more relational versus transactional. Because if they're going to be on the purely transactional side, they're just going to give you a singular rate and go, yeah, I got 2.5%. Take it, you ready to go, right? As opposed to being
No.
more relational and
Yeah.
advice based. Because
No.
maybe
And
today
that's
isn't a good day to lock in the rate.
right. And that's another great point. A lot of buyers on the front end, they're so focused in on the rate. And I always try to tell them, hey, look, this is a process, okay? And it's also your relationships matter. Your relationship with your lender matters. It's not just a transaction. It's not just a number on the interest rate. It's how do we get through this process in a way that is most congruent for you, okay?
Yeah, and I love that you use we because this is a team effort.
It's a team effort. Yeah, it's a team effort. So we're approaching halfway. We got another 5 minutes, and this the second part I want to reserve for what's going on in the market. What about refis and appraisals and notaries? Oh, and actually I have a question on refis. I have a lot of homeowners asking about what are the refi options. So what's going on in the market? What should they expect? I heard somewhere that it's taking 3 to 6 months to get refis done right now.
3 to 6 months?
Someone told me that. That's
No,
why we're here with you,
no,
Ed. Yeah, what's going on?
no. Any competent lender right now is going to take, I would say, most likely about 45 days. Okay.
45 days.
I've been doing them in an average of 27 to 30, but I'd say to be realistic and to set proper expectations, because you don't want to overpromise, I'd say 45 days. And here's the reason why, guys. I just mentioned, if I rewind, I talked about how we have artificially low rates, right? What do you think that does? It creates a huge demand. Huge demand now put a stress onto the system. So lenders are overwhelmed. Therefore, appraisal folks and appraisers are overwhelmed because there's so much demand and so many orders coming in, not just from people now saying, hey, since the rates are so low, I can now afford a bigger house, or I can afford that house that I wanted to before that I couldn't at a 4% rate or 4.5%. And everybody who has a loan is saying, wow, maybe I can shave off some money every single month. So you have both the refi and the purchase market really pummeling lenders. So that is causing a stress into the system. But I would say 45 days for sure.
Well, that's really surprising to hear, because I heard another little bird told me that it was taking 3 to 6 months. So for you, that you can do it in such a short time, that's actually fantastic.
Yeah.
Is
And I'm going to say
are
this
there
for the credit of all of my other colleagues out in the industry. Look, very few of them are taking more than 45 days. Whoever told you 3 months, I don't know. That person's maybe working from Hawaii.
All right. So moving on. So besides, now that we've put the refis to rest here, what are the important things on the lending side that prospective buyers should be thinking about? Is there
Yeah, number
anything,
one is making sure that and this is on the buyer side.
on the buyer side? Yeah.
Yeah, number one is to make sure that you have constant communication, because there's so many moving parts. And like I mentioned before, the system is very, very taxed. The other piece is just be very, very proactive and assertive when it comes to providing your lender all the documentation that they need. Keep in mind that nobody likes paperwork, but unfortunately, this is a necessary evil. It's very paperwork intensive. So when they ask you for something, give it to them immediately. The other piece is, you know what? Put all your chips on the table with your lender up front. Don't hide or forget to say something that's very material, because that might blow up your deal later on. For example, let's say you tell your lender, yeah, I got $200,000 down payment, but the money's coming from China, or you have it in a mattress. Guess what? Oh, now you have a seasoning issue. Now, keep in mind, folks, this is a Jeopardy little question here or information. The number one money laundering method in the United States is real estate. Why do you think they ask you for so much information and so much documentation? So please make sure that you let your lender know everything that's going on with your money, your credit, because what if it's not showing up? Maybe you don't tell them, hey, I got a tax lien, but it's not showing up on the credit report, and you're like, whew, so glad it's not there. I'm not going to say anything. What if it shows up when they pull credit right before sending the wire to title to fund your loan? Guess what? You just blew the whole thing up, and you put your earnest money deposit at risk as well.
Great advice. So the three things that I heard is, number one, constant communication. Now, this is for buyers working with their lender, right? It's important to have constant communication. It's important to be proactive in submitting the requested documentation. Okay. I know it's a pain in the butt, but it's got to get done. And last but not least, don't hide, right? Don't hide anything. We don't care what your financial situation is. Okay. We
This
know
isn't a judgment
our
call.
financial situation is not perfect. All right.
Yeah,
We're here to help
exactly.
you
We're all
get the
humans.
house.
Thank
We're all
you.
human. We're all
Yes,
human. Don't worry
exactly.
about it. Okay.
But remember, we're your team, so this stays here. We have a fiduciary and confidentiality responsibility to you, so nobody's going to know. But we do need to know. So that way we can get you to the finish line in one piece with no blood, no stitches, no casts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are just at the time mark here. Any parting words for our listeners, Ed?
Absolutely. Look, with these historically low rates, now's the time. whether you're looking to purchase or refinance, whether it's with us or without us, make sure that you get people that are on your side, that look at you and have your best interest before their commissions, that give you advice and education, are there to guide you. They're always answering your questions. That's another thing too. You got to make sure people are responsive, because this is a very time sensitive process. But now's the time. Get motivated, get your house. Don't wait. Some people are just waiting for all kinds of stuff. Sometimes when you wait, you miss the bus.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to echo that, I always tell people, if you have the means, you have the need and the interest to buy, just go and do it. This is the Bay Area long term, the best place in the world to live, at least in my opinion. And
Yeah,
with
mine too.
that, we're signing off. Yeah, thank you so much, Ed. Okay, take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.